Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing here on this Thursday morning? This is Reganelite here. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are all doing well. Very close to the weekend. Not there quite yet, but we're just a few more days away, guys. It is Thursday, the 13th of November 2025 at 11 a.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite. And on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. Apologies, I had the volume on my mobile device there. It's going to be a bit weird with my thing there. I apologise, guys. I'm just going to apologise in advance. I literally did not get out of bed until about 20 past 10. I was up late last night watching the wrestling, which I don't normally do, but last night's one show was an exception that I had to make, and I'm going to be working on stuff all day on it, unfortunately, all the way up to the round table. So I'm going to try and keep an eye on news and politics today, but no promises at all, guys, no promises at all. But in the last hour or two before then, I will do that because I obviously got up late and whatnot. I had no time to attend Dave McGuinness's show this morning. I'm not going to have time to attend their afternoon show either, guys. I'm just not going to have the time today. I'm really sorry. Let me just say good morning to Stephen Banker. Good morning to you. Good morning, Peter. Hope you are doing well. Good morning, Alston Keir. Sent you a DM on Discord, my friend. It's for Dave McGuinness's link. You send him to get on tonight's roundtable. Does he want me to send it to? I can send the link to him on Discord. I think I did that last time anyway. I'll send it to him on Discord. That'll probably be the best thing. I'm assuming that's where he wants me to send it, which I will do. I'm pretty sure that's what I did last time. John, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Mutty, good morning to you. Christina, good morning to you. Jeanette, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. US wrestling shows at 1 a.m. Too late for me. Catch up in the morning, days after. That's what I normally do, Mutty. But last night's one was it wasn't just another wrestling show. It's an exception. I very rarely do it. It's extremely rare. Like it normally, I stay out for pay-per-views, which is on the weekends, that's different. But this show last night was a very special one that I needed to watch live. To be fair, I kind of stopped at just before 3 o'clock in the morning and watched the rest of it in the morning. So I did get sleep. So it's not like I didn't get no sleep at all. That's the other reason why I woke up a bit later than normal. Alston Keir, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships to Liz Allen, Lisa B, Jolie, Caffel OG. Thanks, but no thanks. Get Off Zero, Kazi Barkley, Verbarbo, Roger Devine, Spicy Lynn UK have all been gifted memberships by Alston Keir. Thank you so much for the generous memberships you've gifted. For all those who are new, welcome to the new memberships. You get access to short videos. Also get access to custom emojis, as well as early access to additional videos as well as membership posts as well, where you can get to see. And that's why one of the best things about the membership is you get to see the pictures of the cats. That's the best thing about being a member. And if you didn't see last night's live stream, guys, just to remind you guys, I've already time-stamped it to kind of see I don't normally time-stamp the live stream for watch along, but I've already done it, yeah. So if people haven't seen it and you kind of want to see a particular topic that we discussed last night, you can use the timestamp to help yourself as well. Peach Music, good to see you there. Wheat Bud as well. Person impersonator, good morning to you all. Hope you guys are all doing well. Alison Keir, again, very generous with the £2 super chat. It says, just to get the goal started. Just to get the goal started, indeed. Thank you so much for that. So, here is today's daily quota. There it is here. You can see it just about there. I'm just making sure definitely you guys can see that in the camera. If you're interested yourself, link is in the description, littlepennythoughts.com if you guys want one for yourself. This one is from Conan O'Brien. I hope I said that right. Conan O'Brien. So it says, work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. Work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. I'm going to be working hard today, that's for sure. Struggling to being kind is you know, trying to always maintain a positivity is a hard thing. I hope amazing things will happen. We'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow's one is a very nice one to go into the weekend. I like tomorrow's one as well. So there is today's daily quota. Now let's have a look at the weather, guys. How is the weather doing today? Let me take that down. Today at 6 o'clock here, what we got a lot of rain, bit of storms over in Portugal and Spain. There we can see 17, 15 degrees temperatures there. Rome, Nice 14, 16 degrees there. Zagreb 10 degrees, Budapest 7, Vienna 7, Bern 9, Prague 8, Kiev a chilly 5, Moscow chilly 5, Warsaw 9, Berlin 12, St. Petersburg rainy 8 degrees there. Oslo a very chilly 3 degrees. Reykjavik in Iceland a 0 degrees, as you would expect up there. Let's have a bit more closer. Brussels and Paris 15, 14 degrees respectively there. And here in the UK, we'll just scroll it back a little bit. Yeah, we can see up in Scotland it's going to be a lot more chillier. There's some parts of Scotland is going to have some snow here and there, but mainly rain from the looks of it. There looks like some scattered rain here and there. Yeah, it looks like later on London's going to get hit with quite a rainstorm as well Thursday evening from the looks of it there. So I will let my partner know because she is not coming straight home after work tonight. So she's getting a lift home, don't worry. Yeah, I'll probably better just warn her ahead of time. Yeah, that rainstorm's going to be there quite late in the night there. But looks like some parts of the UK are not going to experience too much rain, but you can see temperatures going to be dropping first tonight. Quite chilly there in some parts. Where I am, I'm going to get away with it with 13 degrees. If you're in Wales, parts of Wales, you get away with it. Manchester still chilly 8 there. Dublin 10, Belfast 7. Edinburgh going to be 5. And that's going to get even colder overnight. Yeah, tonight, guys. So yeah, in some parts of the UK, it's going to be really, really cold. But yeah, overnight down here in England, looks like you're going to get some forecast of rain here. If you're in the Midlands and north of England, you'll probably avoid most of the rain there. But we can see some of the temperatures there. Oof, it's going to be very chilly, very, very chilly tonight for those up in the north. You can see there just from those temperatures there, not going to be nice at all. And you can see there some forecast of parts of snow as well there. But in terms of down here, yeah, you can see from these temperatures here, it's not going to be too bad here overnight here for England here. So we could kind of get away with it. Sorry to say that, but you guys are used to that anyway. To be fair, there, Ellie, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Moving into Friday here, from the looks of it here, this looks like this rainstorm that's overnight is going to still be there Friday morning here. Some parts of snow will still be continuing on Friday morning here, but this big blob of rain is going to be overshadowing Wales and England there, mainly where I am, South Midlands of England there. That's definitely going to be problematic. Literally going to be there. Looks like it's going to be there all day. Yeah, it's going to be there all day. It's going to be very windy. It's going to be very wet. Not going to be nice at all there, at all from the looks of it there. Going in, yeah, and even, yeah, pretty much all day tomorrow, I'm going to be experiencing rain, and pretty much in Wales and Midlands of England. Parts of north of England is also there. We can see Ireland is going to experience some of that as well. Temperatures are going to drop a little bit in some parts as well. London is still 12 degrees going into Friday evening there. And even on Friday night, again, the rain is still there from the looks of it there. Yeah, going into Saturday morning. From Friday night into early Saturday morning here, again, that rain is still around there. Not much of that rain still up there, but you can see temperatures are still very, very cold in some parts. Tiny bit more warmer than the day before, but only a tiny bit to be fair. But temperatures not too bad where I am. But it looks like that rain is finally going to clear up overnight Saturday into its morning there. Yeah, 7, 9, 8, 7 degrees there in parts of Saturday there. Looks like it's going to be quite clear for most of Saturday there. Yeah, for most of Saturday, it looks like it's going to be clearing itself up there overnight. Yeah, it's not forecasting any weather, any rain, any snow or anything like that there, unless there's a bug in the app there. Snow warning for the weekend, Reganelite. Is that? Yeah, that's probably up where you are, my friend. Most likely. I doubt it's down here. Moving into Sunday morning, again, looks like there's no rain, looks like coming around at all. It just looks like it's going to be dry, but we can see temperatures there going to be quite chilly there. 3 degrees overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning there in Edinburgh. Belfast 9, Dublin 9, Manchester 6, Cardiff 8, London 10. Again, London's going to get away with it. Moving into Sunday there again. But as we can see, this is the day where it's going to get really cold. Sunday night, you can see the temperature is going to be really dropping. Not even London is going to get away from the cold this time here. And you can see the temperatures really dropping there. Overnight, Sunday night into Monday morning there, we can see temperatures there. London 6, Cardiff 4, Manchester 3, Dublin 5, Belfast 4, Edinburgh 2, early on Monday morning there. And again, temperatures looks like they're going to drop even further there. Into Monday evening there. From the looks of it there, temperatures are going to be, looks like it's going to be, those are going to be maintaining the same temperatures for the next couple of days. Looks like it there, yep. Overnight Monday into Tuesday, and we can see some forecasts of snow coming up the north there into Scotland. That's going to be coming in as well. Yep, those temperatures are finally dropping, and there is the snow that Alison was mentioning there. You can see it coming in there from the north there from Tuesday. Looks like some of that snow could be potentially coming in parts of the England as well from the looks of it there. They've got a bit of a forecast for Wednesday there as well. So, yeah, we are getting snow is coming, guys. Snow is coming in parts. To be fair, it never really settles where I am, so it'll just be really, really cold. But we can see, yeah, pretty much from Sunday onwards, guys, the temperature is officially dropping. It's officially dropping from Sunday. So the next couple of days where it's okay, make the most of it, because it's going to be gone after this, guys. It's going to be gone after this. Don't know when the temperature's going to go back up, but very late the temperature's dropping. It should have dropped a lot sooner, in my opinion. But the cold is finally here. Wichigov, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Lovely sunshine today. Yep, lovely sunshine indeed. Yep, Politics Socials normally at 9 o'clock. 2 Davies at 10:30, and then I'm at 11. Yeah, there's plenty on. No, it's snow. Yep, that is definitely snow is coming. Snow is definitely coming here. Well, coming more. It's going to be more up the north and the north of England and parts of England rather than here where I am in London. I may get some, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to. The public service, public transport panics when there's snow. It's like, oh, we don't know what to do, and it's like just clear the snow. Anyways, guys, yeah, we will talk about the snow again tomorrow, because the BBC weather. We've got to talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll touch on it again tomorrow, guys. We've got one more Good Morning show before the weekend as well here. Today we're going to be looking at the UK news and see what's going on here. We're going to start with the Telegraph here. The Tory graph, or the Reform graph, or the Russian Telegraph, or if you want to call them that as well. The BBC is ready to apologise to Trump. I thought they already apologised. Hitler's DNA proves he really did only have one ball. How is that? And that's a story. How? Like, how is that a story? Like, have you got nothing? Like, is that the best you can come up with, Telegraph? That's the best you can come up with. Queen jokes her moves will make professional dancers jealous. Okay. Working class men with prostate cancer left behind by NHS. Yeah, not enough's been done when it comes to men. That is for sure. I agree with that headline. Press regulator accuses of serious interference in Telegraph reporting. Serious interference, or you guys not doing your job properly? Maybe it's because you're not impartial. Maybe that's why. They tried to interfere in our democracy. They're trying to stop us, guys. Streeton goes to war with number 10. We're going to touch on that in a little bit, guys. Epstein email claims photo of Andrew and Gufrain is real. Of course it is. Of course it is. Trump faced business Republican rebellion yet over Epstein. Yeah, I'm shame I'm not going to have time to catch up with it today. Interesting. And a bunch of houses that I will never buy in my lifetime. Prison officer seriously injured in unprovoked attack in youth jail. JFK's influence of grandson to run for Congress. Israeli officials discuss using Palestinians as shields, human shields. They were already doing that in the Gaza Strip. Telegraph. Where the hell have you been? Oh, you're only just saying it now. BBC News boss admits we haven't got our trans coverage right. Why can't the NHS communicate with us properly? SNP high tax doom loop costing Scotland £1 billion a year. This is coming from the Telegraph. Let me get my jar of salt out while I read that article. Labour are trashing this quality that once made Britain great. So it's funny that you didn't say that about the Conservatives. It's funny you didn't say that about the Conservatives. It's almost as if you didn't want to say it, guys. Tickle that like button, hit the like button, smash the like button, or one way. Do some. Be careful. Don't have any crazy ideas with the like button. Something with the like button. The Times. Let's see what the Times are saying here. Top Maths Society withdraws unlawful trans inclusion policy. What's maths got to do with trans people? What's honestly? What is maths? Top Maths Society withdraws unlawful trans inclusion policy. What's? It's not about whether they're trans men, trans women, or non-binary or whatever. It's about the maths. Oh my God. Immigration judge backs prosecution of Boris Johnson. Good. Put him in jail. Don't think it'll happen, but I'd like it. Just how popular is Keir Starmer? Not very popular. I think we can answer that. Biological remains in women's jail despite trans ruling. You mean trans women are still trans women remain in women's jail despite remain in women's jail despite trans ruling is what you're meant to say. Yeah, trans women. Yeah. Starmer's aide sought to sidestep Trump with back channel to Russia. You want to put trans women in men's prison? What do you think's going to happen with that? What do you think's going to happen? Good morning, Reg. Hope you are doing well there. Tory MP apologises our police called to guest drunken bar row. Uber and Bolt warn of 15% fare increase from the taxi tax plan. Jemrick refuses to apologise for AI clown video of David Lammy. No, of course he's not going to apologise. Why would Robert Jemrick's not going to apologise for anything? In fact, he's going to use more AI videos. Streeton's ambitions is obvious, and number 10 has played into his hands. I think there's a bit of that as well. What else they got here? Baroness victim commissioner dies age 63. Starmer the dead cat is down to his last life in Commons farce. Well, we'll see if he survives the budget. Some people think he will. Starmer faces calls to sack chief of staff over the M10 briefing war. Yeah, he should sack Morgan McSweeney. But he won't. He won't because he's got no spine. BBC prepares to apologise to Trump. Number 10 supposed to act their own goals left Starmer weaker than ever. Summers aide sought to sidestep Trump with back channel to Russia. MPs call for action to protect welfare trapped sea life. Yet we see that already. Moaning about the SNP because they think they know what's going on up there. SNP are awful blue pit for running the country. Plaid Cymru warns. Really? Did Plaid Cymru really say that? I'm not 100% sure about that. Not 100% sure about that. More rubbish about the Royals. English flags creating no-go zones for NHS staff. Special schools funded by Abu Dhabi charge councils up to £100,000 per charge. Interesting. I can't open any of these guys because it's the Times. Burglar caught hiding in bin after stealing designer's glasses. Oh, that worked out well for him, didn't it? That's from the Times. We'll go to the Financial Times in just a moment. Thank you, Alison Keir, for a very generous £5 super chat. Thank you. That's only if Westminster raises income tax by 1p. It takes 1 billion out of Scottish tax get from Westminster. It's Westminster's fault, not SNP. Yeah, something happens in Scotland, blame the SNP. That's their automatic province. Like even if it's done by Labour, blame SNP. You know, it's automatically Scottish news, blame SNP. That's essentially what they do. Essentially. UK economy unexpectedly contracted by 0.1% in September. Third quarter figures dragged down by manufacturing. There we can see, yeah, growth is really bad. The growth was okay at the first quarter of this year, but it's just gone down and down since then. Not good. Starmer Shashak, person behind self-defeating leadership briefing, says Miliband. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. I want to come to an actual article on it. Depth analysis, plots facing Starmer from across the Labour Party. Who will be the next Director General of the BBC? That is a very good question. Talked a lot about that last night as well. We're going to talk about that tonight as well. Scotland to sell 1.5 billion of gilt bonds after same credit rating as the UK. Reeves to curb high-end bike purchases in cycle to work scheme. Introduction of new cap comes after retailers warn some high-rate taxpayers were exploiting the perk. Dispute over money threatens UK-EU reset talks. France has demanded UK pays into cohesion funds as price for reducing post-Brexit trade friction there. Let's have a look at the homepage, see what they're doing there. Good morning, Counter Kiev. Hope you are doing well. Any other interesting stories there? Just have a look at the homepage. The elite Russian unit hunting Ukrainians, drone warriors. Trump fights for control of MAGA movement as Epstein emails widens schism. US drew 900 million from the IMF account as Argentina debt payment looms. The 590 billion California investor betting big on private equity. Any other interesting stories here? German finances plan for military service. I got a short video on that if anyone's interested in that. Brussels aims to speed up crackdown on cheap Chinese parcels. Trump signed spending bill to end the longest ever U.S. shutdown. The shutdown has officially ended in the U.S. from the looks of it then. Which means that Americans who already don't have healthcare or are already paying healthcare through the Affordable Care Act will no longer get it. Which means more Americans will die as a result. Yay, welcome, well done Democratic senators who voted for it. Well done, guys. Well done, guys. Yay, we'll kill more Americans. Because that's definitely just what the American people wanted. Wasn't it, Democrats? Many years ago, a burglar hid in a wheelie bin when cops found him, and he claimed that squatter rights on the bin, says Counter Kiev. Squatter rights. Let's see what politics have got here. US anger as Rolls-Royce tasked with building small nuclear power plant in Wales. Effing deranged, how Number 10's bid to squash streeting backfired. Must be women unlikely to get thousands of compensation despite a review. Well, they needed compensation of some sorts. How we stealth tax on pensions savings could end up hitting you twice, and exclusive from them. It says the government could end up paying more to top public sector pensions if it goes over with plans to raise tax on contributions, experts warn. I'm a waspy woman age 70. We avoid putting the heating on and rarely go out. Parents will be hit by second benefit limit of 2-child if a 2-child benefit cap is lifted. I don't know about that. Can we have a look at that? Or are you going to put me behind a paywall? Parent will be hit by second benefit limit. Yep, no, you're making me want to pay. Nope, sorry, not going to do that. I can get round it if I really want to, but yeah. Maybe good to take a break from essay with a live stream if it only uses part of your brain. My dear, my friend. I was thinking the exact same thing. What's that? To try 6 p.m. for this evening and talk about my essay. Going live tonight at 6 o'clock, Witchigoff. Psychology, understand the subject matter, making sure it's hand in perfect essay. I'm a perfectionist. If you're going live at 6 o'clock, Witchigoff, guys, do check out her YouTube channel. If she's going live at 6 o'clock, do check her out. Be greatly appreciated if you don't mind. As well as obviously seeing the two Davies at 4 o'clock today, which unfortunately I won't be able to attend again. Apologies. Any other stories here we haven't seen? Not really. Health ones here. Why the £40 supermarket at home fertility test is not working. Davina McCall reveals breast cancer surgery and the early signs to spot it there. 9 NHS flashpoints that will decide how bad the winter crisis will be. Those are some of the stories there from the paper there. Right, let's have a look and see what the Independent is saying for us here. But Campbell warns. Intervention by Tony Blair's former director of communications comes as the PM under pressure to sack his chief of staff, Morgan McSweeney, but that would incur the wrath of Rupert Murdoch. It would. So Keir Starmer's been warned by Tony Blair's former Downing Street spin doctor to get a grip in number 10 or risk losing power to Nigel Farage. In the Withering attack, as the Campbell said, public support for the Prime Minister was drained away fast, adding that the government had no competitive narrative and had scored too many own goals. The intervention by Mr. Campbell comes amid reports that the Prime Minister has apologised to his Health Secretary Wes Streeting over a briefing operation conducted against Mr. Streeting on Tuesday evening from within Downing Street. Mr. Campbell said the Prime Minister needed to reassert control as Sir Keir Starmer faces demands to sack his Chief of Staff Morgan McSweeney over the claims made by sources that Mr. Streeting was preparing to launch a leadership coup. Mr. Campbell said he believes the Labour Party strategy isn't going very well. He said the worst thing about the recent days is it made a relatively new government look like the last lot. There is bigger, worse enemies like Nigel Farage, who, if we are not careful, is going to come in, take over this country, and take it to a very dark place. Mr. Campbell resigned in 2023 after almost a decade working for Mr. Blair. Warned, I do think that what we're seeing is in a media world that prefers scandal and personality to policy and trends. There are too many people inside politics who feed the frenzy rather than just getting on with governing. I agree. I definitely think there is some truth to that. Because scandals and personalities, that kind of stuff, it can influence people's politics. Definitely plays a role now in politics. You have to have that kind of stuff now. You can't just be a boring old prime minister with some good ideas and whatnot. You actually have to have a bit of charisma and a bit of personality if you want to see take power now. That's definitely become the norm. Especially young people. Young people like that kind of stuff as well. To want to get them off there as well. No age Richie Goff, thanks for popping in, much appreciate it. It says, and the worst thing about the recent days comes to mind is made a relatively new government with a massive majority look all too much like the last lot, the Conservative Party. Yeah, you can definitely feel the resemblance there of what's been happening lately. He says Morgan is very important. He's been there for a very long time, but hopefully we'll note by now the government that governing and campaigning are not the same thing. Everybody in number 10 should understand that they're there to serve the Prime Minister and the government. Nobody should care what they think, what they do, what their great strategic thoughts are. And right now, the strategy isn't going very well. Yeah, he needs to go. Whether if they sack Morgan McSweeney, if he does, I do think it'll be a major. It could be a potentially game shifting potentially for Labour. Mr. Campbell warned that everyone in public life has a reputational bank and the currency flows in and out. He says something has gone dreadfully wrong and so much has drained in over a little over a year in government. A Labour peer told The Independent that Sir Keir was being derailed by some of the people around him and he called him to sack Morgan McSweeney. Yeah, I agree. If Starmer is to salvage anything, he needs to get rid of him. Some say McSweeney is too powerful to sack, but that would now show that Starmer's fully in charge. He says. I think if he was to sack Morgan McSweeney, it would show Keir Starmer's in control. But right now, he doesn't. We from he's been in power to now, the shoestrings has always been on Morgan McSweeney. And his secretary Ed Miliband claims that Sir Keir would wish to sack the person responsible for the briefings that derailed the government this week. Mr. Miliband, who is also accused of being on the manoeuvres to replace Sir Keir Starmer, Ed Miliband is not looking for that top job. He's not looking for that top job, honestly. Insisted that the PM would get rid of the person responsible for the debate if he was able to find out who they are. I've talked to Keir before about this kind of briefing that happens, as he has always said. If he finds the person, he'll get rid of him. I absolutely believe he will do that, he told Sky News. After he thought Sir Keir would sack the person, Mr. Miliband said, sure, yeah. He also noted in his briefings that his long-standing aspects of politics and pointed to have been lots of briefings under Mr. Blair and Gordon Brown. Look, I think the briefing has been bad, no question, but my message to the Labour Party, though, is quite simply today, which is we need to focus on the country, not ourselves. Mr. Miliband continued. Turbulence is part of the gig, it's part of the DNA of being in government. Thank you, Alison Keir, for £2 super chat. For Ollie and All How the DPR, All How indeed. Thank you so much for that £2 super chat. Much appreciate it. Yeah. Look, I generally don't think Ed Miliband is looking to take the top job. I could be wrong. He could have ambitions trying to go after it again. I don't think he will. I think he's in his role is where he's best suited. I think he's definitely the best person for the energy secretary. I'm worried that if Starmer does get ousted by West Streeting, Ed Miliband might get pushed from his role, and if that happens, I think that'll be very, very bad for the climate agenda. If Ed Miliband is removed from his post, so like personally, like I just hope Ed Miliband just kind of stays in his role because he's doing really good. He's the one person I think is doing some really good stuff for the Labour government. He's certainly not perfect, but he's better than most of the other shambolic people within that cabinet for sure. Tycoon who gave $1 million to Brexit campaigns considers moving to Australia. Said thoughts of moving were motivated by reasons including family and a warmer climate. Well, go on then, bugger off then. One of Britain's richest men who donated $1 million to Brexit campaign said he's considering moving permanently to Australia after delivering a damning assessment of a UK in chaos. Made his fortune. Started by import. Conservative life peer. Blah 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 blah. Also donated $1 million to pro-Brexit campaigns. What do you think was going to happen when you voted for Brexit? Semi-retired. He having semi-retired. Go on, bugger off then. As far as like this is not worth reading. Go on then. Bugger off to Australia then. See if I don't think we're gonna cry over it. Tycoon threatens to leave to Australia because he's not happy with the Labour administration. Another one. Mandelson still in contact with Epstein in 2016. New emails show. Imagine if Peter Mandelson was still kept on board and then even more emails were coming out. Just imagine that. He was still in contact with the disgraced paedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. As late as 2016, a relatively new email showed the UK's former ambassador to Washington joked with him about his birthday 8 years with Epstein. 8 years after Epstein was sentenced to an 18-month prison for solidarity prosecution for a minor. Yeah, he sacked him. The new emails all appear to suggest Mandelson wanted Epstein to stay away from Prince Andrew for his own sake. In one from November the 6th, Epstein email said, "You were right about staying away from Andrew." Lord Mandelson appears to respond, "Yes, without Andrew, it would not have gone nuclear." Earlier, Epstein emailed to say, "63-year-old, you made it." Excuse me, I was just sneezing there. Apologies. Lord Mandelson appeared and replied, I have decided to extend my life by spending more of it in the US, he said. Epstein then replies, in the Donald White House, just days before the US presidential election, that would see Mr. Trump become president for the first time. I can take the charger out for now. I'm going to need that phone all day. Epstein later tells him, "You were right about staying away from Andrew. I was right about in your staying with Lord Mandelson, now husband Ronaldo Ala da Silva." Asked how he was, Epstein also replied, "Having a great deal of fun." Andrew was recently stripped of his Prince title over his friendship with Epstein. Separate emails published in September also include passages in which Lord Mandelson told Epstein in 2008 to fight for early release shortly before he was sentenced to 18 months in prison. He was also reported to have told Epstein, "I think the world of you." When he was sacked in number 10, the emails revealed maternally different information from what was known when Lord Mandelson was appointed to the key role of UK ambassador to the US earlier this year. But his allies were adamant that he admitted during their vetting interview for a job as ambassador that he had continued the relationship with Epstein for many years. Thank you. Yeah, sneezes happen every now and then. Last month, Keir Starmer ruled out any future government role for the peer. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, of course he's not. Lord Mandelson declined to comment. I wonder why, guys. Why? I wonder why. I wonder why he's not talking. I wonder why he's not talking. Reform politician faces 2-week ban for using racial slur. Is that Reform doing something? Lauren Ann Jones made an offensive remark about Chinese people in a WhatsApp group. The sole Reform Russia member of the Welsh Parliament, Laura Ann Jones, is facing a 2-week suspension from the Sea debating chamber following a recommendation from the Standard Committee. The proposed ban stems from a racial slur she used in a WhatsApp messaging exchange. Miss Jones, who defected from the Conservatives earlier this year, made the offensive remark about Chinese people in a group during a discussion about Chinese-owned app TikTok in August 2023. She wrote, no thingy spies for me. While Ms. Jones had previously issued an apology for the comment, the Seed Standards Committee concluded that her actions fall far below the standards expected for a member of the Seed. Expected to formally approve the 14-day suspension next week. In its report, its members of the committee said the committee is clear that inappropriate and offensive comments have no place in our Seed or society or more widely. These messages were contained within an official group WhatsApp chat rather than a public forum. However, the code is clear that it applies to members at all times. The committee is also looking into allegations that Ms. Jones had fraudulently made false expensive claims but found no breach of the code of conduct in relation to that. In a statement released after the committee report was published, the reform member said, I'm delighted to have finally been cleared of any wrongdoing in relation to the malicious accusations of fraudulent activity. I'm looking forward to drawing a line under this after nearly 2 years of being hounded over it and my detrimental impact it's had on both me and my young family. Yeah, because obviously your language, the language you use is perfectly reasonable, right? I have apologized. I've apologized again for the regrettable comments I made in the private message and never meant to cause any offense to everyone, except Chinese people, of course, right? Yeah, because that's why you said what you said. Thank both the police and standing commissioner for their thorough investigation. I accept their conclusions. Reform UK, Reform Russia Welsh spokesperson said, we thank the independent investigation. Laura has rightly apologised. However, it's quite clear there's a serious issue with two-tier policing in this country. Doesn't give you the right, to make racist remarks about Chinese people. It's a great shame. No, she should be sacked. Plaid Cymru spokesperson said the language used was vile and completely unacceptable. Should never be used by anyone, especially those elected to represent our communities in our national parliament. It's only right the member faces the consequences of her actions. The fact that Reform accepted the member's defection following this information coming to light tells us everything we need to know about the party, whose divisive rhetoric only serves to pit our communities against each other. She's exactly the kind of people Reform Russia want in their cabinet. Disgusting woman. Another disgusting person. And people want to vote for them. Starmer shut down as Lowy called for a referendum on the death penalty. Yeah, this is the clip I didn't get to show last night, guys. Yeah, Keir Starmer was asked about the death penalty, and Keir Starmer basically responded saying it's not the answer. Yeah, it's just no, we don't need the death penalty. It costs too much money, and in the past, innocent people have been jailed as a result of it as well. Let's see. Front of UK. Storm Claudia to hit the UK as Met Office issues rampant weather warning. That's the storm that we saw on the weather app that's coming up today where I am. So if I want to get anything, I better go out and get it after this live stream. I live in a toxic household. I went missing 27 times a month. I'm not doing a long walk today as much as I want to. So David Beckham backs safe call campaigns to help missing children. BBC set to apologise as Trump 1 billion legal deadline looms. Daughter to leave from 1 million will for failing to show mother respect. What? Oh, daughter deleted from the 1.1 million will for failing to show her mother love and respect. Oh my god. Lost a court battle over her mother's will. Daughter disinherited from her mother's 1.1 million estate for failing to show sufficient love and respect as lost court battle after alleging that her older brother manipulated her mother's final wishes to secure the fortune. Who moved from London to Cyprus in the 1950s, died of the wealthy 9-year-old 2021, leaving 1 million estate. Made 4 wills, initially splitting the fortune among all children. She ultimately left everything to her oldest son. This following the fallout between it. Oh god. Family property in her own benefit told Central had called previously Pollack's a 2015 handwritten note from her mother which threatens his inheritance unless she apologised. I hate when families do that. Money destroys people so much. Over money as well, guys. It's absolutely disgusting. I hate stories like that. Ooh. Hate stories like that. Rehabilitation is the only really answer there. Lau is such a lovely guy. Yeah, such a lovely guy. Calling for the death penalty, isn't he? Yeah, such a lovely person. Wow, we've still got 20 minutes to go, guys. Just a quick reminder: this live stream will end at around 12 o'clock, and later on tonight, myself, Daily Blase, Grand Price Power to the People, and Dave McGuinness will be coming together for a roundtable tonight. I'm sure we'll be discussing The BBC discussing the government shutdown in the US, the potential coup that could be happening in Labour, and well, maybe we'll touch on a bit on Scotland and what's been happening there with David as well, and any other bits and bobs as well, guys. So do join us for that show tonight. Minister urged MP to sack whoever was behind anonymous briefings. This is from the BBC here. UK economy slows growth to 0.1%. I've never authorised attacks on ministers, says the Prime Minister. That's because you're not in charge, Morgan McSweeney is, allegedly. UK's first small nuclear power plant station to be built in North Wales. Efforts to shore up Starmer's leadership may have backfired. Yep, no shit, Sherlock Holmes. Council reveals bid to split the country. Councillors reveal bid to split country in two. What? What's this headline? Proposals to split Warwickshire in two have been revealed, with supporters saying it will transform council service. Warwickshire is taking part in plans for local government reorganisation from 2028, with a business case for a utility authority revealed earlier this month. And now a rival counter-proposal to create two councils, North Warwickshire and South Warwickshire, set to be submitted to central government, with backers claiming to have support the general public. To reflect that there are two different geographies in Warwickshire, the submission for transforming Warwickshire, which spans 158 pages, has been created by distant councils in Redditch, Bromshire, Warwickshire, Moxon Pearl. Under the bid, Wye Forest and Bromsball would come together to form North Warwickshire Council. It reveals creating the two authorities would cost around 90 million compared to 22 million for a single utility council. The recurring revenue savings are estimated to be £9 million compared to 21 million for the one Warwickshire model. The document argues that one council would mean greater redundancy costs and calls for greater savings of the rival submission, theoretical as it relies on more complex reforms. Interesting. Don't know enough about it to comment on it, really, to be fair. Thank you so much, Alison Keir, for another £2 super chat. It's a table from IKEA, probably. Lib Dems call for a 5% VAT cut for pubs and restaurants. PM says BBC must have put its house in order over culture mistakes. Yep. Will the Bank of England governor play Santa or Scrooge on interest rates? Just hearing noise downstairs. Don't know what it is. Council visited wrong home before Sarah Sharif's murder. NHS waiting list down after 3 months of rises. The NHS waiting list in England has fallen after 3 months of consecutive rises. At the end of September, it stood at 7.39 million. Down for of those waiting, 68.1% have been waiting less than 18 weeks. That is the best performance for more than 2 years, but it is well below the target of 92%, which the government has promised it will hit by the end of this parliament. NHS also released figures showing more than 1 million people came forward with a flu jab in the past week after vaccinations. SRS was issued last week amid the early rise in flu cases this year. Rates of flu are 3 times higher than they were at this stage last winter. Some 14.4 million people have been vaccinated, the NHS says, which is slightly more than have been vaccinated at this stage of last year. The over 65s, those with certain health conditions, pregnant women and under 16 are all eligible for flu jabs on the NHS. Highest waiting list were reached was 7.7 million in September 2023. Damn. Atlantic salmon in stretch of river, extraordinary. There, doctor firms make millions cutting waiting lists there in Bristol. Treasure finds in England reach record highs. See how many were unearthed in your area. That's Norfolk, that story there. British Gas bosses voices concerns over Scotland's energy jobs there. Not an easy job. Why anyone would want to be the new BBC Director General? Well, this is coming. This is on the BBC website saying that. Yeah, money is the root of all evil. Yeah, it's so sad that money really does destroy people's lives. It really, really does. It's so sad. Just have a look at the front of what they've got here. Council visited the wrong home. Can't take any more of this, Andrew told Epstein. Maybe you should accept it. Gaming giant Valve unveils new Steam machine console to rival Xbox and PlayStation. Are we getting a new games console from another company? Interesting. Oh, come on, I'm tempted. Show me a picture of it. The Steam machine is a black box which can function as a home console as well as a PC. Valve, the company behind PC platform Stream, has revealed a new Stream machine is home to console designed to allow gamers to play PC games on their TV. It can also be used as a computer. Especially sequel 2014 device. Prices for these consoles back then started, but Valve's latest iteration is expected to cost a good deal as it packs a much greater punch. It will go on sale early 2026, the company says, with the pricing yet to be announced. The company said this would be, described it as a powerful gaming PC in a small but mighty package with a decent amount of inside 16-inch cube. Interesting. Depends how easy I can connect it to my TV, though. Sorry, that's just my video gamer coming out. It's been a while since I've played video games, guys. Let's have a look at Sky News here. Hope that salmon is not an illegal. Yeah, I don't think it's British. I don't think it's British. It's not British. We need to deport it as soon as possible. Let's have a look at what Sky News are saying here. They've got an exclusive here. Investigation demanded into Keir Starmer's comms chief lobbying links. Tim Allen's mighty ownership lobbying firm led to accusation. So investigation demanded into Keir Starmer's comms chief lobbying things. The Allenton ownership of lobbying firms led to accusations of perception of conflict of interest. Hold on. Have you got adverts? No, you got adverts.
Sending money.
Of course you have adverts. Let's have a listen. Shall we have a listen, guys? We should have a listen to see what this is about.
Allegations of a perceived conflict of interest at the very top of government. They relate to this man here, sitting behind Keir Starmer, Tim Allen, the Executive Director of Communications. Let's take you through the story. Allen is a former lobbyist, and until September, he was the chairman of Strand Partners. He has given up his directorship, but he has kept a 10% shareholding, something that opposition parties are not happy about.
I think it's extraordinary that someone still has shares who's at the heart of Downing Street.
This is Tom Baldwin. He's a journalist and a long-term friend of the Prime Minister. He joined Tim Allen's lobbying firm as an advisor, not as a lobbyist, 2 days after the general election. He was at Rachel Reeves' press conference last week, invited because he's writing an article about the Chancellor for a newspaper. Now, there's no suggestion that Tom Baldwin or Strand Partners has done anything wrong, but Tim Allen does talk to Tom Baldwin about politics and government affairs, and perception of a possible conflict of interest here has led to a cross-party demand for an investigation.
I've written to the Cabinet Secretary today because this appears to be a clear conflict of interest right at the heart of government.
There should be a full Cabinet Office investigation. I think the public need to see there are no conflicts of interest and no perceived conflicts of interest, and that's not where we are right now.
Labour, on behalf of Tim Allen, said the allegation that Tim Allen has done anything to benefit Strand whilst in Number 10 is categorically false. Any interactions with him are in his capacity as a journalist. Strand Partners said Tom Baldwin does not engage in government relations for Strand, and this is not part of his terms of engagement with us. Tim Allen receives no financial benefit from Strand and is not involved in our operations.
Yeah, they're all perfectly innocent, guys. There's nothing going on here. There is nothing to see here. Very interesting piece there from Sky News. Yeah, definitely nothing there, guys. Definitely nothing there. They're all cult members and they're doing it right in front of our faces. Yeah. Our pay is still way down. We have to strike again, said Doctors Union Chief. Resident Doctors strike. I don't want people to suffer, but we have to walk out again, says BMA Chief. Resident Doctors, previously known as Junior Doctors, are beginning their latest strike action this week. The Health Secretary isn't happy and hope a deal rather will be reached after coming to office last year put the issue to bed. BNA Chair Tom told Sky News the dispute remains rooted over years of pay erosion that has left resident doctors behind over other public sector workers. When we started the dispute, the lowest level of resident doctors that were being paid is £14 an hour, he said. There were some pay rises over the last couple of years that brought back the partly back to its values it should be at, but not all the way. Secretary of State called himself a journey, implying that there were further steps to come, but we haven't seen that. When asked about the row, ultimately comes down to money, he replied, in the sense that the Secretary of State doesn't want to or isn't able to fund the pay increase to match the value that we had in 2008. He argued that while the general worker in the economy as a whole has seen cash up since the 2008 financial crash, doctors are still way down. The government points out that its 29% settlement last year was one of the largest in the public sector and was intended to draw a line under 2 years of walkouts. After the most recent pay awards in 2025-2026, a medic just out of university receives a basic salary of $38,831 and an estimated average earnings of $45,000 after factors like extra pay and unsociable hours are taken into account, according to the medical think tank the Nutfield Trust. That average figure rises to $54,000 by the second year, and a more senior specialist registers an earnings of $80,000. BNA says when the dispute started, the most junior doctors are making around £14 an hour. That works out at about $29,120 per year for a 40-hour week. That's very close to the earnings of a doctor fresh out of medical school in 2022-23, $29,000 according to Full Fact. But that's over a 52-year week without taking into account paid holiday or unsociable hours. The gap was the biggest for doctors and needed the biggest amount of restoration. That's what we got. He defended the BMA's use of the retail price index, a metric rejected by the Office of National Statistics, saying it's better reflects the cost people face. Should resident doctors get a pay rise? The thing that I can't speak for the doctors, but this is what I will say, guys, is that one of the things I've said is that minimum wage significantly needs increasing, and our bills need to freeze, and that would help bridge the gap when it comes to equality in our society. I think I missed something earlier, didn't I? Yes, I did. I missed a super chat earlier. At £2 super chat from Peter. Can't let Aston Key have all the glory. Thank you, Peter, for the £2 super chat and helping me reach today's goal. Sorry, I didn't. I've completely forgot there was another super chat there. Thank you and Aston Kier for that. Really appreciate it, guys. I wonder if this Tim Allen guy will try to get out of things by invoking some sort of Santa Claus, says Matty. Probably. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for those super chats. Appreciate it. I knew I wasn't going mad. But yeah, just back to my point before we carry on. The minimum wage is just far too low. The problem is right, what they always try to argue is that, oh, but the minimum wage is going up every year. Every year we're bringing it up. And it's like, well, again, I always come back to this point of it's all well and good increasing the minimum wage, but it doesn't mean shit if your bills are going up at the same time as well. It really doesn't. You can't have this system where both are going up. What you need is you need to bridge the gap between your bills and your wages. This is what we need, not both going up at the same time. Like, either freeze the bills and raise the minimum wage, or reduce the bills and raise the minimum wage. I know it's not as simple as that, but that's down to inequality. That's down to the cost of living. That ties into not just doctors, but all sorts of workers. That's the biggest problem. That is the biggest problem. Starmer expresses sincere regret over appointment of a Labour donor to chair football regulator. You're saying that now. Well, that was yesterday, to be fair. Economic growth slowed to 1%. The £110 weekly benefit 1.1 million older Britons don't claim. I'll claim it if they don't want it. If they don't want it, I'm saying. Rates of high blood pressure in children doubled since 2000 as study finds. That's not good. The Scottish Government owes a legal bill after losing definition of a woman battle. Oh. Any other stories here? Exclusive. We've all seen that. Donald Trump has a long history of lawsuits against the media. That is true. Yeah, he does have a history of them. Let's just have a look at the front page of what else they've got. Anything else there? Why is this a dangerous terrain for Trump? Because he's not guaranteed to win. But he threatens everyone with legal action, to be fair. I just don't know how realistic it is for him to... I don't know how realistic it is for him to win this one. Aliston, oh wow, thank you so much for another 5 gifted memberships to Nature's Admirer, to Gary, Sergey Meerkat, DJ Super Tiny and Person Impersonator have all been gifted memberships there. Thank you so much for those gifted memberships, Alistair. That's very, very kind of you. Much appreciated there. Let's have a look. We've got about 6 minutes left, so let's have a look at The Guardian. If we have time, we'll have a quick look at Byline Times as well. We do stop at 12 o'clock just for reference, which is in about 5 minutes' time. Ed Miliband urges Labour to move on after Starmer apologises to Streeting for hostile briefing from number 10. Housing Secretary told Labour MPs to vote down planning bill amendment. Amendment restricts protections for animals to allow faster housing building. Housing Secretary Steve Rees told Labour to vote down an amendment to the new planning bill intended to protect British wildlife and its habitats from destruction. What? The amendment, which was passed by a large majority in the House of Lords, restricts the most controversial part of the draft bill by removing protected animals such as domestic dormice, badgers, hedgehogs, otters and nightingales, and rare habitats such as wetlands and ancient woodlands from the new rules, which will allow developers to sidestep environmental laws to speed up house building. You bastard. Under the draft legislation proposed by Labour, developers will be able to pay into a nature recovery fund and go ahead with their project straight away, instead of having to carry out an environmental survey and to first avoid and then mitigate damage before putting spades in the ground. Experts says this is a regression of decades-old environmental law and has been criticised as a cash to trash by ecologists and environmental groups. Yeah, this is basically them trying to bypass going through any kind of environmental things. Yeah, look, I get they want to build their houses. I'm sorry, but Steve Reed should go F himself on this. The Laws Amendment would mean The Laws Amendment would mean that the Nature Recovery Fund is restricted to impacts from water and air pollution, meaning developers will still have to take the usual measures to mitigate damage to wildlife and habitats. Reeves has recommended rejecting the amendment when the bill returns to the Commons on Thursday for the final stage before passing into law. A letter to MPs, some of the UK's biggest nature charities, including Wildlife Trust and RSPB, that the government's rollback on the environmental law lacks any rigorous scientific or ecological justification. Remember, this is the same guy that was the environmental secretary. This was Steve Reed, the environmental secretary, right? That tells you everything you need to know about him. There is no credible published or well-established evidence about this model can simply be scaled or replicated for multiple species nationwide about serious risk or ecological harm, legal uncertainty, and increased costs for both developers and land managers, the letter reads. The Guardian reveals this week how the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, and the Housing Minister, Matthew Pennycock, have met scores of developers in the past year over the planning bill. Reeves has not met a single environmental organisation or the body for the profession. Again, how many times have I said this? How many times have I said this? You're not even consulting the very people you're making changes to here. Chancellor has not met a single environmental organisation or body for professional ecologists. Yeah? This is basically them. This is the government basically saying F the environment, F nature. Why would you not talk to them? Oh, because you might upset them. Why don't you actually be honest with them? Get them in a room, listen to their concerns, and compromise. Instead of just ignoring them. You've got one side, you have housing developers. You've got another side here of people on environmental organisations. Why are you not consulting them? Why are you ignoring them? This is the kind of shit that pisses me off so much. It really does. I understand they are desperate to build houses and fast track things. But what I hate more than anything is that they do not consult the very organisations, the very things that matter to some people. And they're making policy changes and not even talking to the fucking organisations that are going to be affected by this. And this is the same shit I mentioned about the disability entitlement system that they were changing. Didn't consult a single organisation. And here they are again, not doing their fucking job. Not even talking to them. I hate this so much. Hate it so much. I'll send that to Pagan. He won't be happy. Reform accused of embracing racism. Any other stories here we haven't seen? Hybrid workers could help get more disabled people into work, Piers said. Lords Committee said government should consider including remote working in back-to-work initiatives. Yeah, if it can, as long as you don't just throw them out in the cold, and it can be, if it's done in a humane way, then I'm all for helping people with disabilities back into work. Again, humane way. Crime and Police Commissioners to be abolished, government to announce. Council staff visited the wrong address. Yeah, I've seen that story already. Burberry bosses urge Rachel Reeves to reinstate free tax shopping for tourists. Some schools in England taking up to 6 times more special needs pupils than others. 6 times. Findings come as government appears white paper to urgently overhaul provisions. Taking up 6 times more special needs schools and pupils than others. Schools in England are steering away children with special needs, leaning some to have 6 times as many pupils requiring learning or behaviour support compared to others, according to research. Findings highlight the pressure from government as it prepares its school white paper to urgently overhaul the special needs provisions and funding. I feel like they're abandoning a lot of children with this. One council leader said the more inclusive schools became victims of their own success by attracting a large number of children with special education needs and disabilities with overwhelming resources. One council officer said, "We got a handful of schools across the county reaching a breaking point. It's not sustainable." At one local authority, some primary schools have 50% of pupils with identified special needs, while others have fewer than 5%, with schools whose pupils come from the private areas most likely to have high numbers. I'll have to leave it there, guys, because we are over time, and like I said, I've got a lot of work, a lot of wrestling content to do between now and 8 o'clock. Like I said, I do apologise if I miss any live streams between now and the round table. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who's come along tonight. Thank you everyone who came along this morning. It's now afternoon. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you, Alison Kier, Peter M, for the gifted memberships and super chats there, and thank you Stephen Banker for that late £2 super chat there. Really appreciate it, for the Rant and Ollie Appreciation Society. I don't like ranting, but there's Ollie there. I really don't like ranting, but what I hate more than anything is when a government is making and Pingu there, that's our emojis there. But what I hate more than anything is government making decisions without even consulting the very people it's going to affect. That's the thing I hate the most, And I don't like using the word hate, but it's not right whatsoever. Even if you know that they're going to be angry, they're going to be mad, it just shows you're a coward. It shows that you're spineless, that you're not prepared to get in the room with people, and you're going to tell people you're going to be doing something that they are going to hate or not like. Just be honest. Just tell them the truth. I just wish they would just be a little bit more honest to organisations where their efforts and their work is going to be deeply affected, and you're not even going to bother talking to them. That it just frustrates me so much. Talk to the very people. It's really, really important. I know no government is perfect. I know no political party is perfect, but it's really, really important to consult those that are affected, even if you disagree with them. Yeah, I just feel that's really, really important, guys. Check out my DM, Reganelite. I will check out your DM. I'm going to go and have lunch. I'm going to pop out before the storm comes. So thank you again, Alston, for that £2 super chat. But yes, guys, do join us tonight at 8 o'clock. Myself, Dave McGuinness, Daily Blase, Graham Price from Power of the People will be doing a roundtable tonight. Join Dave McGuinness and with the two Davey show at 4 o'clock. 6 o'clock, Witchy Goth is going live as well, so if you could check out her live stream as well, it'd be greatly appreciated. But on your way out, guys, if you can for me, hit the like button, share this across social media, subscribe if you haven't to already. If you want additional content, you can check out Rumble and Patreon. Links for both of them are in the description. And thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.